We're looking at compound growth situations. We are looking at situations where our growth factor is not a whole number, but we're instead increasing by a percentage. In this case, we are going to keep our original, whatever it is, money, usually, or I guess pigs. The original pigs don't die. We have 100% of the original plus my percent increase R. And then I will need to convert that percentage into a decimal by moving the decimal 2 places to the left. This will be much more clear with some examples. So we have 15 pigs in our town every time. Now we say the pig population is expected to increase by 20% a year. That means the growth factor is 100 plus 20. So my growth factor is 120%. To write a percent as a decimal, I move the decimal 2 places to the left. So 120% is 1.2. That means my growth factor for a 20% increase is 1.2. Since I started with 15 pigs, I have 15 times 1.2 to the x. If instead I were just increasing my pig population by 2% a year, I would find the next year's pig population by multiplying this year's pig population by 102%. Again, I have to have that 100% because my original pigs do not die. I still have my original pigs, that's the 100%, and then I also have 2% more. 102% is 1 200, or 1.02. Same start value, growth factor of 1.02. This is the one that students miss a lot when we have an increase of 0.2% or 0.2%. I'm still just going to add that 0.2% to my 100. So my growth factor is 100.2. And then I move the decimal 2 places to the left. That means I have this kind of weird growth factor, 1.002. This makes sense though, because if I had a digit here in the hundredths column, that would be a, for example, 1% increase. And this is a less than 1%. So my digit is in the thousandth column. So my function rule is 15 times 1 2/1000, or 1.002 to the x. For each of these, I'm just going to write the growth factor. So interest rate of 5% means my growth factor is 105%. 105% written as a decimal is 1.05. Okay, I'll write the function rule. F of x equals, start with 140 times 1.05 to the x. Increasing by 12%. I have my 100%. The stock isn't, the original value doesn't disappear. I add 12%, so I increase by 100, or my value is 112% of the previous year's value. 2 decimal places to the left, 1.12. F of x equals 200 times 1.12. So I'm not sure if I've been super precise with that language. I'm increasing by 12%. My value is 112% of the previous year's value. So percent increase of 12%, 112% of the previous year's value. Appreciates means increases by 0.6%. 100 plus 0.6 is 100.6%. Moving that decimal to the left, I have a growth factor of 1.006. Again, this looks weird to you, but it makes sense. It's a less than 1% growth rate, therefore I need to have a decimal that is smaller than 0.01. House worth $400,000. Worth goes up by 7.5% a year. So the growth factor is 100 plus 7.5, which is 107.5. Move the decimal 2 to the left, and I have a growth factor of 1.075.